in their right mind chooses to go to the military after they already put in 4 years of college? What's up, YouTube? So I'm back with another video today. It's been about 2 weeks since I recorded, and I'm like, I gotta get these videos out that I know y'all been requesting and that I've been wanting to get out to y'all. If you're new to my channel, thank you for tuning in for the first time, and if you've been watching me, thank you for subscribing and being loyal to me thus far. It's plenty more to come. I'm just here to bring to y'all what was going on in my mind back in 2020 when I did join the military after undergrad. What was going on, KP? Why did you come in? You have a bachelor's degree. Why did you go enlisted at that? Why did you choose the Army over the Air Force? Why did you choose 68 X-ray? Was that your first choice? Did you kind of get that choice? What happened with that? Also, what was your recruitment process like? What was MEPS like? What was your entire experience like? What even made you even think about the military in general? All those things, y'all, I'm about to bring you an entire series on, and this right here is part 1. So I do want y'all to stay tuned. It's so much for me to talk about with y'all, and I just want y'all to make sure that you are choosing the right path in the military, and that you also understand why you're doing it, and you also have information that you need to make an informed decision on the various paths that the military has to offer. I'm going to give you my advice, my tips, everything that I know and what I wish I knew before I joined. So without further ado, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to my video, and stay tuned. Alright, y'all, so something I never brought up on my channel, I think, is that I do come from a military background. My mom retired from the Army. My dad served in the Army, but he did not retire. I have a cousin that medically retired as a major, and I have an aunt that also did her time back in the day in the Army as well. So I come from a family that chose the military as a path. Concerning me, my mom was the closest thing to me having a picture of the Army. How it worked with her is that my mom went in at 19. She was the oldest of 9 kids, and so she left for the military in 79, y'all. 1979. So without me having to give away my mom's age, she retired in the 2000s. So my mom did her bid and she was able to get out as an E7. Back then it's a completely different process. Of course, I don't know how it was for a black woman around that time going through. Like, I joke about people, I was like, the civil rights movement had just happened when my mama went in. 80s crack movement, all those type of things were going on while my mama was in the military. So it's a lot that I don't know about her experience that I know I still need to get information about from her. But needless to say, my mom always preached to me that she was able to get the life she wanted from the military, specifically from the Army. And the thing about that is my mom did a tour in Korea for 1 year, and she couldn't take her kids, so we had to stay with my grandma while she was there. So I know y'all probably watch a lot of YouTubers talk about them having to make that type of sacrifice for their kids. Well, I was one of those military children that had that sacrifice done on them, and I know it was an entire experience that I went through around that time, and I remember it even though I was only 2, y'all. So that is another story for another day, but that's how I was being introduced to the Army. I just remember growing up that my mom had went away to Korea. I knew my mama used to wear that green uniform. Back in the day, it was a completely different uniform than what you see now. It was that deep dark green brown print that they were wearing. That's what I was beginning to know about my mom. I didn't really know that she was in the military. I just knew that she did something that required a uniform. And so as I got older, my mom still chose to keep the military a part of her. When she retired, she went on to become a JROTC instructor, which is Junior Reserve Training Officer, Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps program. Yeah, so I always got confused about that. So yes, my mom did that. That was her main career my entire childhood, which is still her career to this day. That was something that she was able to get and make good money from. And you know, she has been able to make a really good life for herself through her taking that avenue with the military. I actually went to a school that did not have JROTC because JROTC was for, I guess, the city schools, and I was in a county school growing up. So we didn't have JROTC. But one thing my mama said, oh, if y'all ever were to get JROTC, there, I think it was rumors going around that we were going to get it. She was like, I'm coming there. Yeah, I'm going to come there. You need to join JROTC. So me growing up, y'all, I always looked at the military through a lens of, I see my mama made a good life from it, but I did take it personally some type of ways because I did look at how my mama was with her ways and how she did things as being very stern and strict and by the book. And I always assumed she got that from the military. And I used to, you know, in ways growing up, I felt affected by it in a negative way. So I used to always think that, that's what the military do to y'all. Like, I would never join. But she used to always talk to me about, oh, you need to join, you need to join. I'm like, no, never. I don't want to go in the military. You know, you keep putting this pressure on me about going. You keep telling me to go JROTC. It looks boring. You know, at that time, I was very much like a pretty girl, like get my hair done, get my nails done, all those type of things growing up through high school. And I definitely was like, I'm not wearing no uniform. I'm not wearing my hair back in a bun. And like she had to wear her hair the same way for years. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not interested, mama. My dad on the other end, right? He did his time at the beginning of his life in the military when he left high school as well, but he chose to get out and he currently works as a civilian on post at Fort Jackson. So he's still very engulfed in the military life as well. You know, he still claims diehard Army vet, even though, you know, I think he did maybe 6 to 8 years. He didn't do that long. So he also preaches like, yes, you know, baby girl, you'll love the military, like it's gonna do so much for you. But the things that they were preaching to me, y'all, is not things that I yet cared about. And that's why I'm gonna transition into why I decided to join after college. Because yes, they did tell me, oh, you know, being in the military, you get that free healthcare, you get free living arrangements. Basically all the benefits that we know that you get in the military, they preached that to me and said that those benefits allowed them to create the life that they have. And you know, of course, I'm not gonna consider my parents as doing bad. Of course, you know, when they did get out of the military, the cost of living in life was completely different than it is here in 2021, about to be 2022. So people are getting even bigger houses, making even more money. And so now we see things from this light now is that, oh, okay, yeah, you made that type of good living back then, but it's a way better living is being offered to us now. Because y'all was in when y'all still had pagers and barely even had that then. I can only imagine in the military, they probably didn't let y'all have y'all phones at all for anything. So I definitely had a negative perception of the military when I first joined. And I thought that the Army seemed boring. It created kind of emotionless people. I thought that if you were in the military, they made you strict, which is why I thought that my mama was strict, because I thought it was because of the career she had. But when I left for college in 2015, that's when I graduated from high school, she was like, well, you need to go and do ROTC. And I still was in the mindset that no. So let's fast forward a little bit. So come my beginning of my senior year of college, right? My mom, you know, took it upon herself. She had a recruiter that she knew that was up there where I was going to school at in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I was going to MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University. She had one of the recruiters that belonged to our campus reach out to me. It was random one day. He called me, was like, hey, your mom told me to reach out to you, da-da-da-da-da-da. He was like, I just want to talk to you about it, you know, no pressure, no pressure. And I'm like, oh Lord, y'all, like senior year literally just started. So that conversation, y'all, I'm gonna save for my video that I speak of about me choosing to go with the Army. So that is not this video, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm just simply telling y'all about why I chose to join in my mindset of joining with a bachelor's degree and with college. So let's ignore what was gonna happen with that process. Just know that when he first reached out to me, I told him that, hey, I got a whole senior year I gotta focus on. I got 19 hours I gotta take. You know, I'm finna have a very busy schedule and I literally cannot think about the Army right now. So that is what happened when he first reached out to me. That was 2018, y'all. That was the beginning of my senior year of college. And, you know, of course, COVID was not even nowhere near a thing yet in 2018. That was like August. At that moment, y'all, I was still not interested. All right, y'all, so let me take it back now. Okay, I fast forwarded it at first to let y'all know that I can't talk about the process with my recruiters yet because that's for another video. So we taking it back. I want to just tell y'all why college had me in a mindset that I wasn't yet ready for the workforce. Like I said, I went off to college in 2015 and I graduated in May of 2019. Throughout that time frame, y'all, when I left for school, like I said, my mom was very stern in her ways and how she wanted me to do things. And she said, for your freshman year, I don't want you to work. You know, I've been told that it's better for freshmen to stay on campus, get accustomed to the campus life. Don't worry about working. Just be into school, do your thing as a college student. You know, I'm like, okay, so 2015, my freshman year, y'all, I had a good time. I had some friends there from high school, and you know, I was able to go to parties, you know, go to kickbacks, all those things that we used to do when it came to college. I did a lot of that my freshman year. I do want to let y'all know that I have more videos to come concerning college life and the experiences I was going through. And so it wasn't until my sophomore year that my mom made me work, because my freshman year she was only sending me, I think, maybe $100 a month, and my dad was sending me $100, so I was barely getting any money in my pocket, y'all. I was having to literally go out there. So think about all those college parties, all the things you want to do as a freshman. I basically barely had money to do that stuff because I try not to get too much into this video. My mom, she never had anything handed to her, neither has my dad, so they always been the type to make me see that I shouldn't have it easy either, and they want me to work for those type of things. So sophomore year came, my mom was like, okay, you had enough fun, it's time for you to work. So I did get my high school card sent to me my sophomore year so I can start working. And my first job that I had in college was Kroger. I was actually working at the deli in Kroger, y'all, and it was not fun. I hated working at the deli. So I wasn't there too long, and I ended up going back to my high school job, which I always used to do was waitressing, and I used to work at Steak and Shake my whole high school year. So I did leave Kroger Deli and I went to the Steak and Shake that was in Murfreesboro. It was some good money in that Steak and Shake, y'all, but if you know anything about Steak and Shake, it was always understaffed. And so I walked out of Steak and Shake, y'all. Like, I think I was working there maybe for 3 months, and I was like, I'm done. One day I was the only server and I was like, I'm out, Steak and Shake, and I was done. I ended up getting a job, I think that very next week, at Red Lobster. So Red Lobster, y'all, was my main job all of college. Red Lobster was okay. I wasn't used to working at a more fancier type of restaurant than the type of restaurant I did with Steak and Shake. So I was able to keep money in my pocket from sophomore year until the time I quit, which I quit my senior year. I quit came December before the spring semester because I knew how hectic that spring semester was gonna be because I was gonna be getting ready to graduate. So y'all, this is my entire thought process on why I was starting to feel like I couldn't join the workforce just yet. Because of me working as much as I was at the time frame I just mentioned, I had basically neglected my social life. I had friends, but they knew I always had to work because I had to work. I didn't have parents that were gonna allow me to keep like asking them for money, so I had to start making my own money. And you'll learn if you're not yet in college or if you're thinking about college. I don't know how college is these days while COVID is going on, but around that time college was completely normal. It was way more offered to us because COVID was not a thing, so we were outside a lot. You know, they had Greek life, you know, they used to have all those campus events. So around that time I did start losing friends because they did feel some type of way about how much I worked. And you will learn that you need to be able to balance your social life with your work life and your study life in college. And so if you're studying and you're working hard with your grades, then maybe in those 3 categories, and don't mind my nail, y'all, something is going to be neglected. And I was choosing to get serious about my grades, so I was studying more and I was working. So basically I didn't have no social life. But some people choose to have a social life and get good grades, but they are not working because they are able to play it cool during that time frame, and they don't have to worry about not having money to go and do those college activities. And some people just neglect studying, period, you know, and they just like, whatever, I'm just here at college and it's gonna be plenty of them. But I was at one, I've always cared about my grades, so I did, you know, start to get more serious about my grades towards the end of college. But at the beginning, I think it's normal for people to not really care about college like that because you just really just want to have fun, so you're not taking it as serious. And it's not that you're not taking it serious, you're just not that good at time management yet and how to do college. Like at the freshman and sophomore year, I wasn't aware of how to do college, and I still was picky and iffy about what I really wanted to do. I changed from psychology, then to criminal justice, and I even had a minor as a paralegal study. Just all type of stuff I was choosing to do, y'all, and I eventually ended back up at psychology because, you know, my minor is in criminal justice administration and mental health studies, but it was not always that path. That is a topic for another video, and I know y'all might want to hear about that, so let me know if you do, because I had a unique college experience. I did start dating in college. You know, college was wild for dating. I had just that part going on, and I did not yet get in the mind state of networking as far as the workforce goes. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't feel close to my professors like that. I guess I was a good student, but I never really knew how to start preparing for the outside world beforehand. Fast forward, when it came to me about to graduate, I was getting more nervous about the workforce. And you will hear a lot with psychology degrees is that getting a good job with the bachelor's is very much not promised. It will definitely be on a not what you know but who you know basis. And so I didn't know nobody that can help me get a good psychology job around that time, y'all. And I was not yet ready to try it either, because I'm just like, dang, well, they already telling us we're not gonna find no job with the bachelor's, and even if we did, it won't be a job that will require us to have a stable living. And I already knew my mom said, I am not paying for your master's. Get that out of your head. So I knew then, I'm just like, well, dang, what I'm gonna do? Like, my mama said she's not gonna pay for me to go back to school, so I can get a more promising job with psychology. And on top of that, I don't know nobody that's gonna help me at least get a job to keep me stable right now after I graduate. And then, y'all, on top of that, my mom said that once my lease was up, because she was paying for my college apartment that I had from sophomore to senior year, because my freshman year I was on campus, but they do require a lot of the freshmen to move off the campus and leave that for the incoming freshmen. That's why they had college apartments, and college apartment life is lit, y'all. So I was happy that my mama was paying for that. You know, she did coddle me as much as she could, but she definitely was like, don't get too comfortable with this, because I definitely ain't keeping this going. And she drilled in my head that when you graduate, I'm not paying for your lease no more, so what you gonna do? You gonna have to move home. And I was like, oh no, it's so lit. I've been away from home for 4 years now. I am not moving back home. But my senior year, y'all, I had quit Red Lobster. So I started doing jobs like Uber, DoorDash, and I was doing People Ready. That was something we had where it's like a temp agency, and they'll have like different jobs that you can just say, hey, I want to work that this weekend. You'll get paid right after you finish the job. So I worked like an airplane show. I worked like the CMAs. I worked the banquet, and I'll make like $80 after I did that. Like probably helping them get set up, or when I was at the CMAs, I was just helping show people their seats and things like that. And so those little jobs like that helped me to get through my senior year, because I can do those jobs when I got ready, but I couldn't have a set job like Red Lobster or anything else that I had to be at. And then I had an internship at this halfway house for women ex-offenders my senior year, so I could not do anything that required a lot of me. And so I know you're like, well, dang, if you had an internship at a halfway house, why you didn't choose to do that job? Like I said, when I was in college, my mind was everywhere, and I didn't yet care about working yet. Like, I literally did not care about staying with that internship. I only was doing the internship because it was required for this apprenticeship that I had in clinical psychology, and I did not want to do anything with that afterwards. And I found it kind of boring when I was going. It was okay, but it was like, I don't know if I would want this to be my field of psychology. I really was just only doing what I had to do to make good grades, but I wasn't yet planning for my future with my psychology degree. Needless to say, y'all, come me graduated in May of 2019, your girl ended up getting scared, and I reached back out to that recruiter that my mama put me in touch with at the beginning of senior year, and we started my first recruitment process. Sorry, I'm not gonna talk about that in this video, y'all. I'm gonna say that for the next video. But yes, I was scared. I felt like I didn't do college right. I wasn't networking. I knew I had been working. Didn't really create a social life to get around the right people to help me know what to do after college, to not consider the military yet. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm about to go to the military. I don't care. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I didn't even notice I had like a little string right here this whole time. And if you noticed that, I'm so sorry. I'm pretty sure that was annoying to look at. Anywho, I started that process with the recruiter that my mom put me in touch with. It was an entire process, y'all, that did not go right with this recruiter. So basically, I was not going to be leaving for the Army just yet. It was coming to the time that my lease was up, and I'm just like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, I started like, you know what? I'm going to have have to find me a job if I want to stay up here and not go back home yet. Y'all, I end up getting a good job around that time. My roommate that I was staying with in my college apartment, she was working at this job that paid $16 an hour. It was a healthcare company. So she was like, yeah girl, we got a little job fair coming up. Just go up there and try to get hired. And I did. So I was like, yes, I don't gotta go back home. So I did try to start the process of looking for an apartment, but I wasn't yet making the money yet to look for an apartment. I'm just like, what am I gonna do? Like, my lease is up. You know, I just got a good job making money in Nashville. So I was gonna be having to commute to work because Nashville is like 45 minutes to an hour away from Murfreesboro. I'm just like, I got a car, but I don't got nowhere to live. And I would have to find an apartment. But the apartment process is gonna take a long time. So where am I gonna be staying until then? I do have a big cousin. She is 3 years older than me, and she also graduated from MTSU. She wasn't living in Murfreesboro the whole time, but she did end up moving back to Murfreesboro. And she actually allowed me to come and stay with her for the time being. I did agree to stay with her, but y'all, this is kind of a personal conversation because she was living in a 1-bedroom apartment. So that means that I was gonna be having to stay in her living room, which I agreed to sacrifice that because I was gonna be making money and I could figure things out while I stayed up there and stayed up. I was like, okay, you know, well, I'm gonna have to sleep on the couch. I got me an air mattress. And I was actually living like that, y'all, after I graduated. It's gonna get to the stage where you feel like people are getting irritated with you living in their space. I probably would feel the same way. So I was like, okay, this also is not cutting it. So I was getting in the mind state that, okay, I'm gonna have to quit this job and just go and move back home. Around this time, it was getting close to Thanksgiving. I think it was probably like October around that time. And I was like, look, this is for the birds. I'm not living up under nobody no more. And you know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna have to sacrifice not working and go ahead and go back home. That was my biggest thing, y'all, is that I didn't want to go back home to my mom's house because my mom has always been super hard on me and I was not yet ready to go back there. And that was the only reason I was trying to keep a job up there in Murfreesboro, because the army process didn't go right and I saw that they weren't gonna ship me off to give me a stable income sooner. My thought process was that, okay, well, it looks like working can't be done while I try to leave. Not with me like transitioning from college. Like, that was the only thing, y'all. If I was already in a set environment, then yeah, I probably could have waited on the process. But it was the fact of me transitioning from leaving undergrad and in a weird little space up here where I'm not like ready for the workforce and I'm not even qualified enough for the workforce in my head, and I don't have the finances to pay for a master's yet, and my mom already said she's not paying for it, and I don't think I wanted to take out a loan at that time. So I was like, oh, I gotta move back home. I was trying to quit my job that I had at the time, my healthcare job, and y'all, couldn't find out, they was like, oh, you know, because this was actually a call center job, and they were like, you know, you can work from home, you don't have to quit. And I was like, are you serious? They was like, yeah, we can let you take your equipment home with you to Memphis. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is God-given right now. Like, you're telling me I can still make the money I'm making and still move home and work from home? They were like, yeah. I was like, well, damn, I could have been moved. That ended up happening, and I started the process, started moving all my stuff home, and I actually moved back home with my mom a week before Thanksgiving. She was not as irritated about me moving back home because she knew that I had a job. That made that process a little easier, even though she did not like me being back home, but I'm gonna kind of touch on that towards the end of the video. But yes, I moved back home. I was working from home. COVID still had not happened yet, so this was around Thanksgiving, and I knew I was moving back home with the intention of truly starting the army process. I just knew I can do it much better now that I know I still have money coming in, and I felt much more comfortable saying, okay, I can officially start it back up. When I did move back home, my mama did put me in touch with another recruiter. Well, she put me in touch with 2 recruiters. She put me in touch with the Army recruiter and an Air Force recruiter, and I'm going to talk about that in the next video. Basically, when I moved back home, I started studying for the ASVAB so I can make a good ASVAB score, and I was doing my research, talking to recruiters, and just basically awaiting to leave for the military. And this, y'all, this is getting to my advice for y'all, is that during that time I felt pressured to make a decision because I felt like my mom didn't really want me there. You know, I had just graduated. She's like, you need to know what you're doing. You saying you went to the military, like hurry up. Like she basically was rushing me. I feel like in my head that I was being rushed to make a decision, and I don't know the dynamic between you and your household, but that was just the dynamic of me and my household that I was living in. And like I said, I'm sure you can tell that a lot goes into that. I just felt like, okay, naturally the military is my next best option. And I didn't really take time to just rest after I graduated from college, and that truly put me in a position that I know now really set the course of the path that I chose with the military. If you are in that weird predicament after college, or just in general you're trying to decide why you need to go to the military after high school, I'm going to come to y'all right now and tell y'all the biggest thing that I know is to wait. Please, y'all, wait. Take your time. Don't rush, regardless of what's going on around you. Take your time and to simmer in what you know in your heart is best for you, because I was making fast moves to leave for the military. I left fast after between that transition, even though it was continuously transitions from me leaving. Like 2018 was the start, but I didn't officially leave to 2020, but I started the recruitment process in 2019, which is why I'm saving it for another video, because that's an entire process that I was going through, a lot of up and down. The biggest thing that I realize now is that I felt like I was rushing and that I should took my time to just understand what I needed, regardless if I was being pressured by family, pressured by society to have a job and stable job after college, whatever it might be. Do not be like me, y'all. Please, I'm telling y'all, that's the worst thing you can do is rush into the military, because now that I'm in, this is not a career field that you should rush into, because you will regret it, because all that comes with this lifestyle and being in the military. If you don't play it smart, if you don't take your time, you will hate this life and you will be super mad at yourself about you not knowing how to, I guess, make the best decisions for yourself, especially when you know you put all that time into college and they teach you how to be analytical. They teach you how to just do your research and understand things a little bit better, because you are now more educated on certain topics, on how to look at things. And the crazy part that I just want to throw in there, y'all, is that I was actually starting the YouTube process back in 2020. Not 2020, but I was actually starting the process when I moved back home 2019. I knew I wanted to do YouTube at that time, and I was recording videos. I just wasn't uploading none. Like, I still have videos in my phone to this day that I was recording, but at that time I didn't really take it as serious as I take it now. I'm in a way better space with YouTube now, and just all that stuff that comes with being a graduating college student and having to make the decision to move back to your parents' house. I definitely felt like it was a lot on my plate, and I did not want to be home. I did not want to feel like a failure, and I knew my parents was like, we telling you, girl, go to the military. And they kept telling me that, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Everybody keeps talking to me about the military, I'm gonna go to the military. Not being ready for the workforce is the reason I chose to join the military. Not because I've always had this aspiration to be in the military, or specifically the army, but I just knew that I wasn't yet ready to fail with looking for jobs within psychology, and I was not yet ready to just be a big girl. I should have just figured it out from where I was at, instead of trying to like, okay, whatever, this not working, I'm gonna move back home. If you constantly jumping from space to space because you think it's not working, then you will never figure out how to make it work. Wherever you are right now, I'm telling you, figure it out as much as you can, as best as you can, and make sure you do your research thoroughly, because a lot of things that I was scared of, I could have got to that information eventually with time and with patience and with compassion and support from family. I could have took my time, and I know I did not have that space and opportunity with the environment that I was in, so that's why I felt like I was rushing. And I'm telling you, if you have a household or an environment that is nurturing to you and allowing you to just sit there for as long as it takes to make a decision that's best for you. No matter if you think life is passing you by, everybody is doing stuff. The army, these military YouTubers putting out all this promising content. Nope. It's easy to glamorize it, but we go through a lot of stuff on a day-to-day basis, y'all, and behind the scenes. And it is no amount of lifestyle that a military YouTuber can show you that can really show you what you getting yourself into. And I'm telling y'all right now, because this is why I'm here. I consider myself KP because I'm here to come to the rescue for y'all right now. Information that I wish I would have had. And if I could have took my time and waited and just said, hey, I'm gonna figure it out until I know for a fact that I want to go to the military, and I know for a fact I know which branch I want to go into. For part 2, I want to tell y'all about my toss-up between the Army and the Air Force, because y'all might not believe this, but I started the entire process with the Air Force. I didn't even think after I started that process with the Air Force that I was even going back to Army. I went and took my ASVAB test through my Air Force recruiter. Yet, you see I'm in the Army, so I know y'all want to know how the hell that happened. So make sure you stay tuned for this series I got coming for y'all. I'm going to talk to y'all about choosing the right MOS during the recruitment process. I'm going to tell you about my recruitment process, and I'm going to tell you about my MEPS experience, and I'm just going to keep giving y'all some videos about everything involving me getting to my first duty station. Thank you for watching today. I do want you to leave your thoughts once again in the comment section, and make sure you just like and subscribe to my video. Make sure you turn on your notifications so that way you can be notified every time that I post. I do appreciate y'all. I do appreciate everyone watching my content so far, and all the compliments that I get so far. I do see it, and I do appreciate y'all already. It's only the beginning, and I thank y'all for being here to be a part of it. So thank you. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.